Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you an extraordinary story. Sometimes words are not enough to describe what sounds can evoke. In 1874, Modest Mussorgsky composed pictures from an exhibition, after being inspired by works from the post-mortem exhibition of his friend Victor Hartmann, who died suddenly in 1873 at the young age of 39. The composer did not limit himself to describing in music the works of his late friend. He transcended their significance by concentrating in his piano piece the greatest anguishes, suggestions and emotions of humankind. The piece is composed in the frame of a piano suite that narrates in music the experience of visiting an exhibition, where the protagonist is taken by the hand of imagination and, walking between paintings, he is conducted through a fantastic journey that leads him to see, with his own eyes, extraordinary places, getting to know different characters, while looking inside their most visceral and profound nature. The first character we will meet is the Gnomus. In most of the interpretations, he appears as a despicable being that moves in the forest, hopping between bushes and terrifying those who meet him. However, I believe that he is not a cruel being, but a deeply lonely creature, avoided and rejected by all for what he is. Very often, the extreme loneliness, the consequence of abandonment and rejection, can be transformed through a slow and painful sense of frustration into wickedness, in the Latin sense of the term captivus, which means prisoner. The shy figure, wandering through the woods and wading through the frightful fog, complains, shouting out his anger mixed with sadness, until he is caught by a rapture of madness and escapes, hiding from our sight. The protagonist, which we can say represents all of us, troubled and shaken by this terrible image, proceeds towards the next picture, accompanied by his faithful companion, imagination. We find ourselves immersed in a ghostly place, where a minstrel sings a song while observing an old castle from the distance. The music suggests that the character of the painting is telling a chilling story, and that perhaps he is talking about an event that happened inside the castle. Enthusiastic and curious, the visitor of the exhibition proceeds toward the next painting. We are now in the Parisian park of Tuileries, where we can observe some children as they quarrel under the watchful eye of their governess, who is chatting. Beadle, the characteristic cart of Polish peasants, a massive vehicle with very tall wheels, is slowly towed in the mud by oxen. This is the title of the following picture. In Russian, the term "beadle" means servant of the glebe. This makes me think that the composer did not want to simply describe a cart that approaches from a distance, passes in the front and then moves away, but wanted to draw our attention to the man that leads it. It will seem that under the influence of alcohol, he is singing a song that tells of boundless bitterness and unhappiness due to his personal condition. Nearly defeated by this vision, our embittered protagonist continues walking towards the following painting, which depicts dancers dressed as chicks as they break their way out of their eggshells. The next scene presents a couple of Jews. One of them is rich, arrogant, chuffed and sulked with pride, while the other, poor and petulant, is insistently and violently asking for money. His desperation is evident. The dialogue between the two soon turns into a fierce and brutal clash that, judging from the end of the piece, ends in the worst way. Walking alone with that faithful companion, imagination, we enter the Limoges market, where the chatter among peasants in the square turns into a noisy quarrel. Suddenly, the protagonist sinks into the catacombs of Paris, descending deeper and deeper towards a place with no way out. In the autograph, the author himself describes the horrible circumstance. The creative spirit of the late Artman leads me to the skulls and invokes them. They are lighting up gently from inside. Baba Yaga, the nightmare witch of all children, violently lunges forward. A grotesque being depicted in her house, an elevated hut that rests on two ends feet, which can move and look around, served by its invisible slaves. The keyhole of the front door is a mouth filled with sharp teeth, while the fence is made out of human bones. Lean, horrible to look at, with disheveled hair, an iron nose and stone breasts, she moves by flying around in a mortar, using the pestle as a rudder and clearing the path in the woods with a silver birch broom. Immediately after, we find ourselves in front of a majestic and resplendent image, the Great Gate of Kiev. Tolling of bells, golden icons, and Orthodox choirs leads us toward the end of our journey in a stunning and unforgettable finale.